We throw around this term personal growth all the time, right? It sounds kind of vague, something we're supposed to do. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? What if it's not some finish line we have to cross, but a craft, an actual art form? That's what we're going to do today. We're going to reframe this whole idea into something you can actually build.
Okay, so let's jump right in with the big idea here. Think about this quote for a second. This is saying you're not just some block of marble that life happens to. No way. It's about realizing that you're the artist. You're the one holding the chisel. You get to chip away at the rough edges, refine the details, and literally sculpt the person you want to be.
I mean, that's a powerful image, isn't it? But it immediately makes you wonder, okay, so if I'm the sculptor and the sculpture, how do I actually do that? Like, what are the tools? Is there a process? What does it really take to make a masterpiece out of yourself? And that's exactly what we're going to break down. We're going to explore the whole architecture of this thing. First up, we've got to understand the stone itself, our raw material. Then we'll get our hands on the sculptor's tools. And finally, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the actual sculpting process. All right, section 1. So, first things first. You can't just start hacking away at a block of marble, right? A sculptor has to know their stone, the grain, the flaws, the potential. For us, that stone is ourselves. So this first step is all about that deep, foundational self-awareness. So what does it even mean to know your material? Well, it starts with this really cool definition. See, personal growth isn't about reaching some perfect, finished version of yourself. It's more like a constant, ongoing negotiation, a creative dance between the person you are today and the person you're becoming. Okay, so to really get a handle on this raw material of self, we can break it down into 3 key parts. First, there's your personal core. Think of it like your psychological operating system. It's just how you're wired. Then you've got self-understanding. That's the map of your inner world. Knowing your strengths, yeah, but also your triggers and blind spots. And finally, your values. That's your compass, the very architecture that guides your decisions. And here's the bottom line. You just can't sculpt something you don't understand. It's impossible. So getting a grip on these 3 things, your core wiring, your inner map, and your values, it's absolutely the first step. It's non-negotiable. This is what shows you the true potential hidden inside that raw material. Okay, so we've examined the stone. We know our material. What's next? Well, now we need the tools to actually shape it. And we're not talking about fuzzy, abstract concepts here. We're talking about the practical, real-world instruments you're going to use to do the work. So here are 3 of the big ones for your toolkit. First, new skills. This is about expanding your capability bandwidth. Think learning a language or public speaking. Next up, habits. These are your automaticity systems, things that you build, like a daily workout, that just compound over time and become part of who you are. And finally, feedback. This is your mirror. It's how you use what other people see to calibrate what's going on exact. But here's the thing. Having the tools isn't enough. You need the right mindset to even use them. And that's the mindset of the master. On one side, you've got lifelong learning, this perpetual loop of renewal that keeps you from becoming obsolete. And on the other, stagnation, resisting change, thinking you know it all, and just becoming outdated. The choice you make here, well, that really defines the kind of artist you're going to be. Okay, we've got our material, we've gathered our tools, now it's time for the main event. The most active, hands-on part of this whole thing, the process of transformation itself. This is where the chisel finally meets the stone. And the process can be broken down into these 4 key stages. Step 1, reflect. You've got to interrogate your own assumptions, question why you believe what you believe. Step 2, engage. You have to lean into the hard stuff, the challenges that push your limits. Then, you build. This is where you intentionally construct those new habits and skills. And finally, you adapt. You use your emotional intelligence to evolve and make those changes a real part of your identity.
So when we talk about engaging with challenges, where's the sweet spot? There's actually a name for it, the zone of proximal development. It's this incredible idea. Think of it like this. It's not the stuff that's super easy for you, and it's not the stuff that's completely impossible. It's that little bit of a stretch, right on the edge of your comfort zone. That's the cognitive frontier. That's where you learn the fastest.
Now, obviously, if you're constantly pushing yourself into that zone of discomfort, you're gonna face setbacks. It's just part of the deal. And that requires one absolutely critical quality: resilience. But what is resilience really? It's so much more than just bouncing back.
It's stress alchemy. I love that phrase. It's not just about surviving stress. It's about transforming it. It's the art of taking all that pressure, all that difficulty, all that failure, and actually converting it into fuel, turning it into strength, into new capacity. It is literally turning lead into gold. Which brings us to our last section. After all this work, understanding the material, using the tools, going through the process, what's the point? What does the masterpiece even look like in the end? And here's the big twist. The goal isn't to create some perfect, polished statue that never changes. Oh no, it's something way more alive than that. So, what are the hallmarks of this evolving masterpiece? Well, first, you get real transformation. I'm talking deep, structural changes to who you are. Then you get wisdom, which is when knowledge turns into actual good judgment. And the ultimate goal? Self-actualization. That's that incredible point of convergence, where what you do, your purpose for doing it, and your authentic self all just click into place. So after all that investment of time and energy, what's the payout? What's the yield? Well, the source calls it identity dividends. And the return isn't something you can measure in dollars. It's paid out in something way more valuable. Real confidence, a huge increase in your capabilities, and a profound sense of meaning. And that really brings us to what might be the most beautiful and honestly liberating idea in this whole explainer. The sculpture, it's never actually finished, and it's not supposed to be. It's a living, breathing, evolving work of art. You are always a work in progress. And the sculpting, it never, ever stops. So we'll leave you with this question. You're the artist, you know your material, and now you have the tools. So as you look at your own life, at your own evolving masterpiece, what part are you going to work on next?